Hello, Home Slices. It's Kiara with Home Slice Adulting coming to you all with my review for Iyanla Fix My Life Season 6 episode something. You'll see it down below in the the title of the video. Whew, excuse me, y'all. I am tired. I have finals this week, so instead of doing like the full shebang where I, sit down, watch the episode and take notes during the episodes, which takes, an hour and a half. Sometimes I figured I wouldn't take notes and just come to you all off the top of the head after just finishing watching this episode of Iyanla Fix My Life featuring Andrea Johnson. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of what happened in the episode, I want to say thank you for clicking on this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with someone who you think will enjoy it. Now, because I didn't take notes, my goal is to finish this video in under 10 minutes because I actually was a little underwhelmed by this episode. I expected Leandria to be cutting up, a little bit more. And, thank goodness she wasn't. But, there's something inside of us that just likes drama. And this particular episode was not necessarily drama filled. So, Andrea Johnson won Sunday's Best, what appears to be like 9 years ago, apparently. That's a long time ago. But she won Sunday Best. And since then, she's been labeled as the bad girl of gospel. And apparently, at the center of that is her alcoholism. And besides the death of her brother that happened 2 years ago, we don't really seem to know what other source of, alcoholism there is. We knew she grew up in a religious family. Excuse me. We know she grew up in a religious family. But besides her brother dying 2 years ago, we don't really know what other pain she has that she's numbing with this alcohol. So yeah. Anyways, so Iyanla is, having this conversation with different people in her life, people who clearly have a conflict of interest. And I thought that was like the most poignant thing that Iyanla said, that there are people in her life, particularly the booking agent and the guy who's like the representative from her record label, that claim to be her friends, but who also have an interest in her continuing to work despite not really taking care of herself and continuing to be an alcoholic. So for Iyanla, she has a problem with these people being in her life, not telling her the truth and, doing her a disservice by not telling her the truth and allowing her to keep working and to keep, making music and to keep booking gigs when she's clearly not right within herself. And that's one thing, that we all should probably really get clear about for those of us who, are Christian or are into, religion, for those of us who, practice organized religion, that type of thing, that in order for us to respect the people who are our leaders, whether those are preachers or whoever else, preachers, priests, depending on your own specific beliefs, they have to be right, within themselves. And in order for someone to truly minister to somebody else, that person doesn't have to be perfect, but it's very hard for someone to minister to others when their stuff is not right. Like something that another YouTuber was talking about, her channel is called Chatting with JoJo. She was talking about John Gray and how he, has this new job as a preacher in either North Carolina, I think. In Greenville, I think my grandma used to live there and we used to go visit her. But anyways, he has a new job as a preacher and he just kind of is going through this scandal of telling us that he had an emotional affair. And it's like, okay, on Chatting with JoJo's channel, she was like, well, he needs to kind of sit out. Like, you need to get yourself together before you can minister to others. And it's really challenging for me to respect somebody as a minister when I know that they are not living a life that is congruent to the stuff that they are telling me. And so it comes across as this very, do as I say, not as I do. And that never works. That attitude never works when it comes to telling people, things and telling people how to live their lives. And it's like, is you saying something? You can't tell me nothing. That's how it comes across. So for Leandria, she really has to do some work within herself, and she talks about how her alcoholism has affected her kids. But again, all of it is kind of like a blur, because I found myself being a little underwhelmed with the episode, because I was expecting the Leandria from the Facebook, live videos and, the on Twitter. I was expecting that Leandria to show up. And apparently she did not. According to her booking agent, she hasn't had a drink in 31 days. According to him, that's all you need to be free of alcoholism. So, but that don't even sound right. Anyways, he did appear to be the most problematic of all the people that she had talked to. And come to find out, her younger brother hasn't even told her that he has been through some type of rehabilitation program, not for alcohol, but with some other substance. So, Iyanla is saying, you have all these people in your life, and, she had like a really good analogy. Like, I don't understand why Leandria is drowning when all of you all are standing around the pool. Nobody is extending a hand, to her to lift her up. And that's just really unfortunate. And I feel like a lot of people who are in a position where they have money and maybe their family doesn't, that the family supports that person in all of their, whether it's substance abuse or whatever it is that person with money is doing, the family supports them in that as long as it is benefiting them. And because she has these people in her life that have a conflict of interest, she really isn't getting the help. She really isn't getting the intervention that she needs. And I think they're going to have some type of intervention on the next episode. But let's talk about the it wasn't weird, but I guess the most intense part of the episode, where Leandria is upset and we hear her say, everything Iyanla said was true. And I don't really understand why Leandria was in breakdown at this point. She was like down the street from the house where they were filming, and she seemed to be in agreement with Iyanla about the things that Iyanla was saying, but still wanted to leave. And I don't know if that was just resistance or not wanting to actually face the rest of the stuff, like not realizing how difficult it was going to be to actually acknowledge her issue of alcoholism. But Iyanla comes outside in true Tyler Perry fashion. I have never seen anything more Tyler Perry. She starts quoting scriptures walking down the driveway, and she has this big speech with Leandria. And I think the most poignant thing that she said to her is that, I just heard something. Y'all, I'm tripping. I feel like I just heard like a bell or something go off in my house. Anyways, we just gonna ignore that and pretend I didn't hear that. I just heard something weird in my house, but I don't want to stop this video. So anyways, so she tells her that you were trying to fix your problems with the same thing that you are rebelling against. And that, Leandria can make a decision on how to serve God on her own terms, and how to create a relationship with God on her own terms. And whatever Iyanla said, it just touched Leandria, and she came back, and I think she's finally settling in the fact that she has a problem. And then lastly, we see that her record label manager is telling her, in 90 days you need to fix your life, basically, and if you don't, that'll be the end of the contract. So those are my overall thoughts. I guess I'm on track. Because I didn't want this video to be really long. Again, I thought it was a little underwhelming. But in addition to that, I have so much stuff kind of going on today, and I need to study for finals and all that jazz. I don't have time to actually get into like the nitty gritty and all the details of this episode. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I am going to do an in-depth review of the second part of Leandria's episode of Iyanla Fix My Life. So anything that I didn't cover here, I'll talk about in that video. Peace out, home slices.